Another pot of money that was allocated was for dual credits. You're a big proponent of that. You've been talking about that a lot. So tell me a little bit about that money, the dual credit programs, and how that money is distributed at the school level.
We are so excited about the fact that the legislature approved $15 million for dual credit in this biennium. I don't know anyone that disagrees, quite frankly, talking with a lot of people across the state, that dual credit isn't fantastic for students. We know that a student that takes dual credit, where they get credit for both the high school course and a college course, using a college curriculum at the same time, their likelihood to go on into post-secondary just jumps way up compared to the student that hasn't pursued that. All along we've been telling, state government has been telling high schools, go on dual credit. And we've been telling our post-secondary institutions, go on dual credit, but there's never been any funding. So it's hard to ramp up to meet really what we hope, the needs of every single high school graduate without the fuel, so to speak, to ramp up a program like this. So it's available in every school to every student. And I hope someday a requirement for graduation will be dual credit because the jobs today require post-secondary. So I'm very excited about it. A reserve account has been set up for every single high school, all 227 across Kentucky, a reserve account for dual credit. At the end of the semester, based on their number of successful completions, it's a $156 scholarship this year. It'll go up as KCTCS goes up. $156 the school will get for every completed dual credit course that a student takes. And if they don't use all of their dollars, they will lose them at the end of the semester, and they will go to the high schools that have ramped up dual credit faster. But if they have more dual credits courses than their allocation, then they'll receive money in from the high schools that haven't pursued dual credit at the same level. So every school has an allocation, every school can move forward, and my hope is that we will ramp it up, that at some point in the next 4 or 5 years we say to graduate from a Kentucky high school, you have to have credit either on an academic track or a career track with an industry certification in order to graduate.
Now, it seems like we're making some progress in the areas that you would like to see, but there's still more work to be done, obviously. What role do you think the business community can play in helping move education and workforce forward and making sure that people are prepared for the jobs that the business community has available?
Well, the last great reform in education in Kentucky was CARA in 1990, when we talk about K-12. The business community drove that legislation to the finish line. It had a supportive governor and some in the legislature, but without the business community's active involvement, calling legislators, testifying the importance of it, I believe it never would have happened. Now, after a quarter of a century, it's time to drive again. And the importance is, it comes back to the disparities in education across the state. We need specialized forms of education to meet the needs of every child. Children with learning differences, students that have big gaps in their lives at home. We need public charter schools. We need greater flexibility for parents to choose what district their student goes to match up with the needs, whatever their student's interested in, so they can go on to the best life. States all around us, Indiana, Tennessee, 43 other states are all moving down this to have forms of education to meet the needs of every child. Kentucky, we haven't started, and it's time to start. We have 20 years. We can look at all of these other states for the last 20 years and see what's worked and what hasn't worked. Let's pick the items that are working and bring those to Kentucky. So hoping the business community will continue to engage, but even at a much higher level in this next legislative session.